Okay, I think I'm live. Um, I think I'm live, and I'm pretty sure I have uh, no here right now. It's the first one, but um, thing of it is, I'm going to just, I'm gonna just do it. Um, it's first of all something I have been wanting to do for a long time. Um, and I've gotten a lot of, I guess, maybe advice and insight on, you just do it. And, the people will come if they're interested, But at the end of the day, just do it and go live. And, or even with making my topics, it's just really about just putting it out there and just doing it. But anyway, today is Saturday, July 29th. Um, this is something I really, like I said, I've been wanting to do it, but I wanted to have, I want to build my platform, um, not just here on Living Better, on the Living Better platform, but also I wanted to fit in here somewhere to talk about a new channel. And I say new, but it almost feels kind of old because I've been doing things and planning things on there that um, I've been wanting to do for a very long time. It's called the spiritual side. Um, I kind of think most of my content already is has a spiritual um aspect to it in a way. Um, but this would really, really be delving into um, kind of another part of me that I don't really share all the time. I think there may be a few videos that I have where, I'm talking about spiritual things and breaking curses and things like that. As a matter of fact, I have a couple of videos like that, breaking covenants and contracts and things like that. I mean, because it's really a side of me that I don't really, even though I don't really bring it out very, very much. It's kind of because I'm trying to find a place for it. Um, but it is, man, probably a bigger part of me and who I am than just the regular videos that I get on here and talk about. I mean, because it's actually the essence of who I am, and it's the way that I work. You know, on a deeper level, it is the way that uh, man, it's kind of hard to explain. I mean, because it's really me, but it's a um, I pull from it so easily. It seems like, it's not a part of me that I have to, and really have ever had to, like, make it work or whatever, you know. So it's pretty natural, um, and I'm going to explore that more because I know that I have a help, that I can help people. I am a help, and I have the help, the resources, the knowledge in a lot of ways. Not to say that I know everything, but the knowledge in a lot of ways to be able to help people. And I want to start doing that because I know it's part of my mission. I know it's part of why I'm here. You know what I'm saying? And I think with me, it's really just learning how to, where to put it and how to put it, and um, how to use it. So I have been, um, man, I guess you can kind of say like working with a master teacher. I mean, because I'm learning so much. I'm. It's not really so much that I'm learning so much. It's more so that I'm remembering things, uh, and there are things that I'm learning, but it's also things that um, he calls them activations, and so it's more so of things that. Um, we just need to know how to live and move and operate in our power. And so that's what I'm learning, those natural things, skills and abilities that we have that we don't really know what to do with. Those things that, where people call you weird and crazy and, you know, all spooky, you know. Uh but yeah, yeah, that, you know. Um But anyway, despite that, um, I do want to. I have started making a couple of videos where um, I'm talking. I've talked on a couple of topics. What I did is I went back and I reloaded um, those from my computer and actually put them on a whole separate website that I'm going to be using. And honestly, and truly, I really hope, believe, and think that that channel will probably be bigger than this one. Because, I mean, the plans that I have and the work that that channel is going to be used for is, in my opinion, like I say, it's more of really who I am. It's more of really, like what I want to do, you know. So, um, that's what I'm going to be doing. That's what I'm going to be working on, working on a lot. But this one is called Coffee with Pure Awareness. And I don't know, I have a thing about, morning coffee and just sitting and relaxing and talking and sharing. I think it's a way to let your guard down. I think it's a way for people to just kind of sit and be comfortable, and get to know each other. And so um, it's the time that I chose. I really think it's best for me. I'm going to try to do these on Saturdays or Sundays. I'm not really sure. My schedule has changed, and my schedule um, is a lot more free now to where I can actually do those things uh, that I didn't have time for. And so this is one of those things. I had my Saturdays off. Sundays are a big difference for me because I'm going to be having those off. But like I said, um, it's a situation where um, I now have the time, and I just think it's a lovely thing to do. I want to do it, and that's what I'm hoping, that you guys, that things will grow and build, and you guys will come along with me and journey with me, and we can share coffee and topics. That's really what it's about. Um, so this first live is actually going to be um, one where it was kind of just open floor, be questions and answers, or hot topics, I guess. I'm not always the biggest on hot topics. I don't always know, all the people out there, but I know that we do have a few um, hot topics and things going on right now. So, if there is something that somebody comes in and wants to talk about, if I don't know it, I do. I mean, just tell me. Just tell me what it is. Just explain it to me. And I'm usually pretty good and quick on being able to, kind of catch on and go from there. I don't usually have a problem with that. So, you know, that's pretty much how this is going to be set up. I do have, though, also, I do have a few topics that I'm going to go through and, talk about. Some of them, and this is probably how I will do this, besides just like open floor questions and answers or whatever, will probably be on topics that I've made some of my videos on that particular week or what have you. Um, and I can just kind of go more in depth with those and be able to go more into your comments and the comment section and stuff like that of what you've said about the videos. And yeah, it's a way to, in my opinion, to grow. It's a way to get to know you guys. It's a way to like really get some real perspective. You know what I'm saying? Because honestly, my life in a way is kind of it's structured to where I don't meet like googobs and googobs of people, especially outside of work. And so it's a way to hear people's opinions, like it really is. We have a tendency to get really, really closed minded, really, really narrow minded when we don't have different perspectives. And so I think it's really, really important for us to have some different perspectives uh, of just life and society in general. I think honestly and truly, I think we've kind of lost a lot of like real world perspectives, if that makes any sense, because I think one of the huge problems is social media. uh, I think the other problem has a lot to do with our own personal discernment, our own personal, just from where we came from. I think it's a lot of natural skills and abilities that some of our foreparents and things like that had that we, I think we don't have it anymore. And I think one of the reasons we don't have it anymore is because we have this social norm. We have this box that we've been put into. We have this really, really big thing called don't judge. And honestly, I think that non-judgment thing and don't judge and everything, I really think it's out of perspective. I really, really do. I think what a lot of people call judging is a way for a lot of people to do stuff and really almost do whatever they want to do. And nobody say anything about it because all they have to do is throw out, oh, don't judge me, or you can't judge me, or whatever. And I think a lot of the issue is that it's not about people automatically go to the negative when they start talking about judging. And judging is not always about some negative thing. Like, honestly and truly, we got to judge every day. Honestly and truly, you have to judge every single day. And, I think sometimes there can be a fine line between, you negatively judging somebody and, putting your stuff on them. and you just honestly looking and listening to the situation and giving your opinion. I mean, judgment is it's actually a very wise thing. I mean, to walk around in this life and to walk around uh, not judging, not judge. I think it's really honestly on the bias. Like, why would you live that way? Why would you do that? But I think a lot of the negativity that comes from judgment or people feeling judged or whatever. I think a lot of times it's them being unsure about themselves. I think it is them already coming from a negative and unsure place. And so when someone says something about what they do or what they're doing or whatever, it automatically triggers them and they feel like, oh, well, you're judging me or whatever. You can't really hardly even give people advice, whether they ask for it or not. Honestly, I guess it should be asked for, but we have the right to pass our opinions. You know what I'm saying? I think it's really a weird thing when people get on social media and put their stuff out there and then tell people don't judge them. Or then one of the things that really gets me is when people when people get on social media, choose to get on social media, and then they get there on social media and feel like, and then tell people their problems and then tell people how to respond to it. Like, that's one that, when I see a post like that, I just leave. I don't even say anything about it because at the end of the day, that sounds like something that's really about to be a fight because the person is already unsure and defensive. And when you're unsure and defensive, just from jump, it's not going to be good. Like, why are you even on here asking for an opinion? Like, why are you even on here, putting your business out there? And the internet is a free for all. The internet is pretty much a madhouse. So, and then you tell people how to what to say, how to say it, and well, don't say this to me, don't say that to me. I mean, I get being respectful, absolutely, but some of the expectations, you know, really baffle me. Some of these expectations really baffle me on how you know you tell a person to respond to your whatever. You know. So anyway, um, so I did have whether I get some people in here or not. Like I say. This guy, who I'm gonna call my master teacher, he was like, whether you have nobody in there, just do it, and so that's what I'm doing. But I did have some topics this morning. Um, I had a few topics that I was going to go through and go over. I am planning on being here maybe about an hour. I mean, if I get some people in here and we get some good dialogue going, of course, you can go longer than that. But for right now, um, I want to go over these topics. Um, some of these topics are, let me see. I don't know if it's some of them or all of them. Yeah, it's just some of them. So some of the topics that I have on here are things that I have made a video about already. Matter of fact, one of these main topics, I made a video on that on yesterday. There's another one that I also made video on, which I am really just, I'm not mind boggled because I know that it's good. I'm very confident in my material and things that I put out. Um, but I have over 1,200 views on that video, and I just put that video out just a few days ago. The one about Just Hilarious and um, the trans community, and that trans person who I have since found out has deleted their, well, I think they deleted the post maybe, but I do know that they or I don't know that, I have heard that they made their page private, so that's one of those things where you ran your mouth and thought you were being slick and cute about something, and you got challenged on it, and now you're running, you know uh, but I say stand flat-footed on what you think, feel, and believe. Like if that's how you feel, then stand there and let's talk about your argument. You know what I'm saying? Um, anyway, that's not what I'm gonna talk about first. That's not what I'm gonna talk about first. I wanted to, but I am gonna touch on that. Um, like I say, I don't know if I said it already, but I do plan on being here. I think I said it already, about an hour from. Uh, so anyway, um, my first topic uh, is a video that I made on should the Black community forgive Carlee Russell. Now, we know on yesterday, I think it was yesterday, maybe the day before, we saw an arrest. I think it was yesterday. We saw an arrest. We saw an immediate bail uh, from her. She was arrested and got bailed out pretty much immediately. Um, it seems like a lot of people, it seems like people are kind of mad. You know what I'm saying? It seems like there are people who are angry uh, with the situation and what's going on and how it's being handled. Like I said, I saw in a lot of comment sections and so forth, it seemed to me more men, Black men especially, um, are more for her going to jail, are just really, really intolerant of what she did, but I think one of the things, I think it's reasons for that, but at the end of the day, I think that I think it's a community-wide problem. I really do. I desperately feel as if the Black community treats its men and its women vastly different. I really do. There's a lot of expectation put on Black women. Whether it's warranted or not is not even really the point. It's not even really what, I wouldn't go into that unless somebody asked me to. But with that being the case, we have a narrative that it's so hard out here for Black men. And I'm not saying, there aren't hard aspects to it. But what I'm really saying is that we're both in the same community. You got men and women. We make up the community. And we're all living the same experience. And you have to begin to ask yourself, what then is the reason as to why Black girls seem to have a different type of experience and outcome than Black males? It seems as if Black males kind of get put in situations as to where it's I would say survival, but Black women are surviving too. Like Black women have to do a lot to survive too. So I won't say survival, but it's almost like they are put in a situation as to where they have to carry themselves in a certain way, or they're going to get ridiculed, they're going to get talked about, they're going to get called nowadays simps, they're going to get called weak, soft, whatever. They're going to get shunned, I think, by mostly, in my opinion, by other Black men. um, One of the things that I've noticed, and one of the things that um, I've noticed for a long time. I don't see a lot of people acknowledging that, but one of the things that I notice is that uh, when Black men are shunned or feel like, oh, I'm the nerdy one, I'm the good guy, I'm the guy that no Black women want. Um, I am um, the good guy. You know what I'm saying? Um, I think it seems to be, even with those guys, it seems to be a rejection by the female. Well, I'm not wanted by women, they didn't want me for their boyfriend. They want the thug, they want the whatever. But, I think when we really dig deep into that, it probably works both ways. But I think when we really start dealing or digging into that mindset, I think we need to really be honest and look at the fact that many times it's the women who are a lot more accepting of the nerd guy, of the not popular guy. And I'm not talking about just dating. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about acceptance, period. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times, acceptance doesn't just start when you get 14, 15, 16 years old. I mean, it starts from younger, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I feel like it's not the women, and I wish I had somebody in here to, kind of help, not debate me on this, but give their perspective on it. I feel like it's the women that are a lot more. When you see a little boy who's, kind of different or by himself or whatever, I think in a lot of ways it would be a little girl who would go over there, talk to him, start playing with him or whatever. I find a lot more ridicule and shunning coming from the males towards other males. And then once he starts, hitting puberty or hitting to where he likes girls, then yeah, it looked like, oh, well, the girls don't want me either. And, you know, they're ridiculing me, they're whatever, but I don't think it starts off that way. I think women are a lot more accepting and embracing of differences than males are. If we think about and look at social media, a lot of times you'll see uh, a guy who's being sweet, who's being nice, who's, maybe I shouldn't use sweet because for some reason guys get upset when you say sweet. Some of them do. But um, he's kind toward his lady. He's talking about whining and dining her. He's talking about you know paying bills or just doing anything traditional, like so many of these guys talk about being traditional and wanting a traditional woman. But it doesn't work unless you are a traditional man. But going back to that point, if they are a traditional man or send her a sweet song or something like that, they immediately get bombarded with social media, people on social media, mostly men, calling them simps, calling them thirsty, calling them, I mean, just all kinds of names. And it's usually the women. I mean, yeah, he's catering to the women, but usually it's the women um, who are being a lot more accepting. Um, let's go back to thinking about even when they were growing up. I'm talking about this 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. type area in their lives, or age group in their lives. Um, and people are calling them weird, and people, kind of stay away from or whatever. It's a lot of times the little boys who are trying to fight them, the little boys who are calling them, you know, gay slurs and stuff like that. I mean, it's usually many times other men and other boys, other males who make these males feel bad, feel, like they're doing it wrong, or, you know, don't nobody want. I mean, it's just a lot of ridicule. And that's just something that I see and I have observed. Some kind of way, though, just from being in the Black community, it gets pushed on the women. And a lot of times the women, will get the blame for that too. Oh, girls didn't like me and blah, blah, blah. But do you remember whether or not the boys liked you? Like, did you have friends? Like, did they invite you to the football games? Did they, did they want to play with you? And I'm talking about this 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 year old, even 11, 12, maybe age group. You know what I'm saying? Um, somehow, somehow Black males grow up and they seem to forget all of the things that other males did to them. They seem to harp more on what women do and how women are so bad or so horrible or whatever. Um, I remember I just did a video not too long ago, where it was talking. Matter of fact, it was on Father's Day, I think, and it was talking about how it seems as if, especially Black males, will get this fond, huge admiration for their dads and for their fathers. It's like they build up some type of fantasy about their absentee dads, and or they will believe whatever he said. If they get to meet their dad, and oh well, she didn't want me around, and or you know um, I had another girlfriend and she was mad, so she said I couldn't say. I mean, just whatever it is, whether it's true or not, they seem to get this. They believe the dads more, and they seem to make their dad, no matter what, a victim of the mom, and it's her fault. And a lot of times, I think they finally grow up or whatever and find out that it's not true, or dad was not being honest totally, but somehow still they have this hate for the mom and women, and I don't get it. It's almost like something that's programmed into them that they have to do. They don't sit back and think critically and say, oh well, you know even if they couldn't be together. I mean, that's 18 years. Even if they couldn't be together, can you bring me, a soda pop on uh, on Saturdays? Can you take me to a football game? Maybe can we just go out in the park and just throw a ball? Can we just talk every couple of hours or whatever? You know, there are ways that I think a lot of men don't truly exercise all of the, what would you call it, all of the avenues of, if the woman really is trying to keep your child away from you, you simply go to court. I mean, I know a lot of them don't like to take that route, but if you really want to be in your kid's life, I really think that there are ways to do it. She really can't stop you. I mean, she can say whatever she wants, she can try to do whatever she wants, but if you're documenting and if you're recording and things like that, and you go to court with these things, men have rights. Men have a lot of rights that I think they just don't use and exercise. Um, and I think it's a problem. I think it's a real problem. But yeah, we don't look, in my opinion, critically really at the situations. I think we kind of just take them for face value, and it's just so easy to blame the women or blame black women or just whatever. And I kind of think that's just the route that they take. I think it's just the route that they take, for whatever reason. You know what I'm saying? You know, um, I often say and quote Cynthia G talking about this black male worshiping culture. Honestly and truly, I think the men in our community worship other black males probably more so in a way than women do, because there is this absolute boys club. There is this absolute um, what do you call it? What's the word I'm looking for? There is this absolute alliance that they take with each other, where it's situations that this man is wrong. This man is talking crazy and foolish, and this don't make no sense. But in order to stay together, and in order to, I don't know, increase their power, I don't know what they're doing, but they will absolutely um, join in with him and agree with him, whether it's right or wrong. They will absolutely do that. It's this big brotherhood that um, I think is detrimental in a lot of ways, but I also think in a lot of ways that, I wish black women, I wish we as black women were a lot more like that. I really do, but we're not. Um, And when you try to be, there's a lot of time, oh, we all just upholding one another, and y'all be encouraging each other in ratchetness and blah 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 blah. Well, yeah, some of that is the case, but it, it's also the case that we have so many black women who will side with males and just give this hate for other black women. And that's really the part that I think we need to take everybody's individual opinions or perspectives for what they are. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not just agreeing but just because she's a woman. You're absolutely listening to her argument. You're absolutely um, taking a real perspective on what exactly it is that she's saying, and you're going from there. But at the end of the day, I really truly think, you know, men, just really in general, are a lot more together and stick together and stand together um, than women do. Than women do. Um, that brings me to one of the things I talked about on yesterday. I made just a real quick post. It wasn't long. I made a video talking about the woman who in Boston, there was a black man who got out of his car. Well, let's back up. So the first thing he did is he seemed to say good morning to her, I guess. I don't know if he was slowing down. I don't mean, because if you're driving down the street, I don't know how you just, say good morning to somebody unless, like I say, maybe he slowed down or whatever to say good morning to her. Like, it's so much more um, details. This is a new case. It's been out about 3, 4 days, and there seems to be so much more detail that needs to be uncovered. Because if you in your car, like I just said, how are you, slowing down enough to, and why would you slow down to speak to a stranger? Like this whole thing just seems very, very planned out to me. You know what I'm saying? It's like he planned it and he really just picked somebody. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if he was already angry or whatever. I mean, he seemed to have been, because how the hell do you just get out of your car and just go beat the hell out of somebody because they don't say good morning? Like, that's crazy to me. you know? Um, and that's why I say I think it was absolutely planned. But getting back to talking about the women, on that post, I first saw that on Instagram, and on there, so many women commenting, and so many women blaming her, blaming her when because that thing went straight to the court and the attorneys and all this. This man has already gone to court for this stuff, and the attorney is telling you there was no threat, that this was a victim. He's also telling you that they didn't know each other. Um, and the whole thing about the water. Apparently, he was saying that she sprayed him with the hose or something like that. Well, all of the evidence showed that that did not happen. You know, there was also a ring, even though she was videotaping it, or she was able to get her phone out and videotape it, or some of it, before she started getting beat. There seemed to be like a neighbor's ring camera or something like that that was able to catch some footage. So if there was some evidence, or if there was some whatever about, some discrepancy about this guy, while she's spraying him with water or whatever, they've looked at the cameras, they've looked at the videos, and they have said that there is no evidence of that at all. He wasn't wet, the ground wasn't like, there's no evidence of that. You know what I'm saying? But yet, on Instagram, in the comments, just all over the comments, it is, oh, this don't sound right. And oh, it's more to this story than what is, than being told. And, you know, there was a few people that actually put it together that, oh, he said good morning to her. She said something, flipped to him. He got out of the car and she sprayed him with the hose. And it's just like, how do you just go and make up a whole scenario in your head that makes sense to you? That they're in court and they already disproved everything you are thinking. There's no evidence of any of that, you know. Um, but it's crazy to me because, like I'm saying, it's more to me of more, um, what would you call it? More blame of black women just for any reason. She had to have done something. She had to have done something, you know. And that's the part that I'm talking about. And it's sad because so many black women and girls are victims, but yet we keep it and we hold it and we don't, and we still, even being victimized by men, we will still uphold them and say, oh, well, what did she do? Was her skirt too tight? Was her skirt too short? Well, what did she do? Did she have on too much makeup? Did she have on too much perfume? I mean, what did she do? And what gets me is it's almost like it's unfathomable for you to think that a man could just do something without reason. It happens all the time, every day. And then when you go looking at the criminal aspect of it, that really should give you more evidence. It should give you more evidence. But apparently it doesn't. I mean, because this man was wearing a whole GPS. The court said he was a criminal. The court said he had assaulted other people. Um, I mean, honestly, what more do you need? Why does it seem unfathomable to you to think that this man could have just been an asshole and just attack this woman for no reason? Like, the other thing I wanted to bring out, now he was mad because she didn't say anything. Okay. So Carlisha Hood did say things. You know what I'm saying? Um, and there's many other cases, but these are two of ones that are still should be fresh in our minds. Um, and when Carlisha Hood was saying things and she spoke up for herself or whatever, um, and she still got blamed once again. Oh, she should have shut her mouth, and she should have just walked out the restaurant. I guess leave her food. I guess uh, because from what I understand, she was already in the restaurant before him, waiting on her food. Um, and like I say, she got blamed for saying something. This woman in Boston got blamed for not saying something. So it's just like, what do you do in these situations? Like how can you defend yourself? Because when you don't defend yourself, you should have. When you don't when you do say something, you should have kept your mouth closed. I mean, it's like it's really truly a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation when it comes to Black women. Like there's nothing really that you can do that they're going to side with you, or that the public, the Black community is going to side with you. And it's sad. It's like Black women themselves must think that they're horrible and terrible, because how do you not give, another Black woman even the benefit of the doubt? The fact that men are bigger and stronger, the fact that, I mean, who else did this to this woman? You know what I'm saying? The woman in Boston. Who else bloodied her face, broke her nose, and beat the hell out of her? We know he did it. We know that from what they're saying in court, that he had, he was violent, and that he had assaulted other people. Like, why isn't just that enough for you to believe him, or to believe her, that she was a victim? You know what I'm saying? And one of the other things that really gets me is that, and I'm going to move on to something else, but one of the things that also gets me is like, why is it that you have to, there has to be a reason behind it? Like, it has to be a logical something that makes sense, as if there's not a lot of irrational, don't make no damn sense stuff going on in the Black community every single day, perpetrated by Black males. Like, I don't know. I just think we don't think far enough and deep enough into really using our heads and our minds. I think we try to use way too much compassion, way too much emotion in situations where it doesn't matter and where it doesn't count. We have way too much sympathy for criminals. We really do, like known criminals. Um, the guy, and this wasn't on my paper, but it's all connected. The guy in the looked like a social services office who was attacking the security guard. You know what I'm saying? The female security guard, I mean, literally chasing her, throwing chairs and stuff, people literally having to hold him back. And literally nobody is coming to this woman's rescue. Like, I would have been terrified. You know what I'm saying? Nobody is coming to this woman's rescue. But then when he finally, and I do mean finally, because that went on way too long, but when he finally got tased, all of a sudden everybody gathered around him. Nobody, like I said in my video, gathered around the woman to see if she was okay, to see if she was shaken up, to just whatever, just, oh, you tased a Black man. And he got all kind of support, that is, that protect the Black man at all costs type mentality, even if the Black man is a criminal. Like, do y'all remember, this is an old video some years ago, maybe 2, 3, like I don't know. But there was a guy a big guy, a big husky black male. Um, I don't know if he was in a Burger King or a McDonald's or something like that. He was having an issue with a female worker. I don't know, because some of the thing is that a lot of times people don't, uh, of course, tape off or video altercations when they start. Like they just kind of start once it gets hot, you know. And so this was already a heated exchange. Um, I guess the woman wasn't moving fast enough, or she just like, I don't know, but there's all kind of violence in McDonald's, as we already know. Um, Kind of like Chuck E. Cheese pizza, like it's all kind of fights and violence and stuff that always goes on there. But this guy, there were people in line and everything, and this guy literally begins to, out of anger, he went to the back and he's literally behind the counter chasing this woman. And there were males in line, there were males there, they were looking and everything. And as this woman is trying, to get away from this dude, um, eventually he just stole like a couple of burgers or whatever and walked out and cussed and left. And which is really silly, because at the end of the day, if you ask me, I don't know what the argument was about, but if you want to steal some burgers, just steal some burgers. Like, you ain't got to hurt and attack people or try to attack people because of your, if you ask me, fake anger and outrage. You know what I'm saying? Um, but yeah, once again, another video of a black woman just, running around the store and nobody's helping her. Like, people are just looking and videotaping, and it's just crazy, you know. It's almost one of those things, like the mindset is that whatever happened, the black woman deserved it. And it's so crazy. I don't know. We need to heal. We need to heal. That is some of the things that, like I say on my new channel, the spiritual side. Yeah, those are the things that need to be delved deeply into to find out the root cause of why are we like that, and heal from it. Because I think there's a lot of spiritual healing that we need. I mean, we can get therapy, we can, see things, we can use our common sense, we can use our mind or whatever. But there's a lot of spiritual things that are going on now and that have been going on in the black community in America. Like it's so many different levels. But at the end of the day, people need to heal. You know what I'm saying? I'm not offering healing to people who do not want to heal. I'm not trying to push it at all on anybody, because, first thing about magic, or the first thing about doing spiritual work, is that you have to understand intentions. And it all starts with the person. At the end of the day, people can say, oh, I want to be out of this situation, or, I want to change and I don't want to be like this. But if you're continuing to do things that bring those things into your life, or you're not really changing the root cause of your behavior, you're only going to go so far. Like, what really do you expect? But at the same time, coming at things from a spiritual angle, a spiritual side, can really begin to uproot and help you heal core beliefs, core issues, core problems. A lot of times that starts going into generational things. You know what I'm saying? Um, Things generationally need to be stopped, need to be healed, need to be cut off. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if we all know that you can start your spiritual healing any day. Like, I don't care what type of contract or binding agreement or vow or whatever that some of your ancestors may have made that have brought about generational curses in your life. But at the end of the day, people need to know and understand that it can be cut off today if you wanted to. You know what I'm saying? If you're a part of some type of generational contract or something that you didn't sign up for, that you don't know nothing about, that maybe somebody else did to somebody else, I mean, and that stuff is following you in your life, you can cut that off. You can absolutely not be a part of that. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think, because I think a lot of spiritual workers, want to keep people just coming back and keep them kind of dangling on a string. They don't give them the tools to understand and to know that the power really does lie in them. And that's one of the things that I want to share and teach uh, on my new channel. I don't want to fool people and trick people and keep getting money for this and money for that. And I went to 15 different spiritual workers, and can't nobody help me. They can help you. They're just getting money, because at the end of the day, um, the power lies in you. Maybe some of them don't know that. I don't know. But and I'm talking about money, but I will charge for some of those services. I really will. Because and the reason that I will is because it's work, it's time, it's energy that I'm pulling from myself. And um, but we'll talk about that later. You know what I'm saying? We'll get into that. We'll talk about that. I'm going to continue to set that up and set up those topics, services. I'm still really trying to find how to do it. You know what I'm saying? So I got about 3 minutes left on here. But I guess, man, there's still things that there's still topics that I can sit here and talk about. I really, this is the first live. So, I didn't really expect to have a bunch of people. I was projecting, a few people though, and I'm going to continue to project people because, that energy puts out, it'll come back to me. So, uh, I am hoping each week for a bigger and bigger audience, people to come and listen, and let's really delve into these topics. But there are things, where I really could have gone on. We talked about Black women. We talked about my channel, my new channel, The Spiritual Side, which I also asked you guys. I'm gonna figure out. I haven't been able to figure out really how to make a related channel. I know somewhere on here on YouTube, there's a way that I can connect my channels. I don't know how to do that yet. I'm gonna look into that, try to figure out how to do that, because I do want those who follow me here and those who listen to me here to go over there. You know what I'm saying? And I want, I need to build that up. I think I got one subscriber on there. Uh, so yeah, I need y'all to go and like and comment and listen to the videos. I only have 4. It's only 4 videos on there, and 3 of them are actually all connected to the same topic. It's talking about the Book of Lilith that I did. Um, but even that, I want to go more into that. But um, yeah, I want you guys to go over there and join the channel. Not necessarily join, but like and follow me there. Comment, you know, on things, because I will be looking more into that, and taking things from just a regular perspective to a spiritual perspective, and talking about spiritual things and how to heal and so forth, like we so desperately need. But at the end of the day, it's for those who come. It's for those who want it. It's not to force anybody to do anything. It's not no gimmick. It's not for you to, oh, well, let me just see what she's doing. No, you really need to be real, true, and honest with yourself on what you need to change, how you need to change it, if you want to change. I think that's one of the biggest issues with spiritual work, is that it's not so much that that spiritual worker is not helping you or their stuff is not working. I mean, maybe it is or maybe it's not. But at the end of the day, like I keep saying, I don't think people realize how much it has to do with them. It's really not the spiritual worker is really just like there to aid you. You know what I'm saying? They're not doing the work. They're not doing anything spectacular or whatever or changing anything that is so marvelous and fantastic. I mean, it has to do with you and your intentions. And that's really what I want to show and bring out and help people to understand how they have the power to change whatever it is they need to change. And it's not hard. Like, it's really not that hard. You know what I'm saying? So, anyway, we'll get more into that. But I am at an hour and 33, 4, 5 minutes. And, you know, look forward to more lives, y'all. I will be doing this, like I said, Saturdays or Sundays. I'm going to plan it to where I'm going to post it so y'all will have a lot more notice. That's the other thing. I did not give a lot of notice. I had made a video for it, but then I made it on my phone and I wasn't able to upload it onto here. So it's kind of crazy, but you will have more notice next week for the next Coffee with Queer Awareness so that we can open up and delve into these topics and I can actually get to see and meet you guys. I don't know about see, but I could actually absolutely meet you guys and hear your thoughts and hear your ideas and things like that. And we can go from there. So, um, but you guys, hopefully you all will go back and watch this live and leave me some comments and everything. Put some topics in there, what you want to talk about. Um, but yeah, I will be back next Saturday or Sunday. I will post when I'll go live, either Saturday or Sunday, and I'll post the time and I'll give you guys a lot more heads up than just what I'm doing right now. But you guys, for those who will be watching this live after I'm done, um, thank you for watching it. Thank you for listening. Please hit the subscribe button. Please hit, like I said, go over to my channel, The Spiritual Side. I'm going to try to find a way, like I said, to link these channels together so it won't be hard for you guys to find me and the topics. Um, but you guys, bye-bye. Thank you so much. First live of many to come. And thank you for listening and thank you for watching. And until next week, we'll see you next time.